Welcome to The Hurt Is the Same. My name is Chantel Johnson, and each show is dedicated to my son Christopher Johnson, who was the 109 homicide right here in Jackson, Mississippi. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to The Hurt Is the Same. My name is Chantel Johnson, and each show is dedicated to my son Christopher Johnson, who was the 109 homicide right here in Jackson, Mississippi. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Can you hear us now? All right, thank you. Well, just in case you didn't hear us, I tell you what, we're going to... Oh, what about previous? I was trying to see how many seconds it was when they wrote this, but it ain't showing. See? Okay. I just seen it right here. Okay, she said yes, you can hear sound. Oh, okay then. Well, thank you. Thank you for letting us know. Exactly. You know, modern technology is quick. It's quick, and it got a mind of its own. So sometimes you have to double check it just like you do humans. But back to the subject at hand. Let me see this right here. This right here is really what caught my eyes. Mental health. Because we have so many people who do not understand it. And as you said, it's easy to identify.
It is. We just have to stop and be observant and listen.
Oh,
listen.
That word, listen. What if everybody did do that?
More listening than talking.
More listening than talking.
Oh, what a world.
Oh, what a wonderful world it would be.
Because we all stand to learn something, you know?
Oh, yeah, every day. Every oh, this mine. I ain't
you
know
may
that
have
too.
it.
Yes, I need this, even though I got one in my car.
So I really want people to understand and feel as though, you know, you really are a part of this system and this process, and you have to understand it to really be a part of it, you know?
Most definitely, so y'all can stop calling me, asking me, because you know I know. You know, you have to get involved.
For yourself.
For yourself.
No, for yourself.
Even though you know I'm going to give you the best advice, I know, but at the same time, you can rely on your own
knowledge
ideas and knowledge when you understand who you voting to put up in there.
Exactly, because as I said the last time, you don't want to find yourself in a situation where you're inside the system and then you're trying to discover who it is that you put in that position. You want to know that before you get to a point of needing the court.
Most definitely, and as I said before, once you make it to circuit, that's a big deal, people.
It is.
Even though most people act like it's not, it is.
That's life changing. Circuit court is life changing.
Correct.
And so you want to know, you know, whose hands you're putting your life in, so to speak. And what I mean by that is you want to know who's making the decisions.
Correct.
And how they go about arriving at those decisions. Have they ever been a part of the decision making process before? You want someone who's been a part of those conversations and a part of the decision making.
Yeah.
You know, and trying to strike the balance and delving into, you know, what really needs to be considered and what does not need to be considered so much.
I totally agree on what you just said is balance. What you just said is balance. That's it. Balance. Mm-hmm. If we can just do that.
And we can.
You know,
we can.
That's why I tell people you have to get out and vote. If you don't have a ride, call somebody. You know, an important day like that, that's the time that you take an Uber.
Exactly.
You know, if you ever was going to pay for an Uber, that's the time that you pay for it.
Nothing should stand in your way.
Nothing should stand in your way. I totally agree. Well, what would you like to tell the people who might have doubts? Or just say,
I want you to take the time.
What they want to do anyway.
They are, but I want you to take the time to get to know who I am and why it is that I have put myself out here before you in such a huge way. Why is it that Wendy White feels as though she's qualified, you know, to sit on the bench and rule over the cases that come through, you know, circuit court? And I can tell you, I mean, just very, very basically, it's based solely upon my experience. Look at my resume and see how it stacks out. Look at the experience that I will bring to the table. The fact that I have been a part of the game for 21 years, actively participating in it. I've played, every position on the field. I don't know of any other way to break it down than that. I have played every position on the field, and I've done that now for 21 years. Jackson and Hinds County, this is home for me. I want something better. I don't like to, turn on the news and see all of these crimes having been committed. I don't like to walk into my office as an assistant DA and see and hear about the crimes that the general public does not see and hear about it, because the news can't report all of it.
Sure can.
So I see it, and I have been seeing it for the last 8 years, because, even from the felony side, while I was prosecuting misdemeanors, initials take place in municipal court. So I saw you first. So I always, for the most part, know what's going on the streets of Jackson and Hinds County, and it's not always pretty. It doesn't have to be that way. Right. It doesn't have to be that way. We can fix this. I was telling somebody, people talk about the backlog and, the shortage of police. I get that, but we can't always use that as a crutch, so to speak. We can change that by taking preventive measures. Let's stop engaging in, these behaviors and activities that we're engaging in, so that you don't turn yourself over to have to be policed or prosecuted or defended.
I totally agree. Prevention, that is it.
And we can do it. Just, find a way to de-escalate the situation.
Because something's got to work.
Something does. We can go back to the ways of old. Nothing says we can't go back and do right.
I totally agree.
It's never too late to do right.
Well, I sure do hope y'all get out and, for number one, just do what's right. Because as I said, you see where you at now with not voting. You see where it gets you at with not participating. How about try those and see where you end up at?
Exactly. Do your part.
Do your part. Do something different.
Do your part.
Because the same old thing is getting the same outcome, and we're not moving at all.
We're not.
And that's crazy.
We're just stalled right now.
And when they say backlog, fix it. Get more judges. Get more courtrooms. Get more. Anything that you need more of to fix the problem, get it.
Need more resources.
Other than everybody pointing the finger.
That's not the solution, is it?
And that is not the solution. It's just like a rat in a maze. Literally. We just going back and forth.
Bumping into walls.
So, we're going to go to a commercial, and we will be right back. I gotta see how to cut this. Watch out.
Have you had your Earthblend coffee today? At Earthblend Coffee, we take pride in offering you the very best of beans across the world, blended and roasted to perfection, giving you superior quality and satisfying and flavorful taste. Experience the world in one cup with Earthblend Coffee.
To order, visit earthblendcoffee.co now. Do you have something to say? Do you want your voice heard? Join the We Believe Global lineup. Be the star of your own show. For more info, call 800-492-5186, option number 1, or visit online at webelieve.global. Advertise on webelieve.global, a brand new digital media platform. Share your brand with our audience on our many global live stream TV broadcasts and over the radio. For more info, visit webelieve.global or call 800-492-5186.
Hi, I'm Q Talicia Garrett. I am here to introduce our New South Development and Training Outreach Hour every Tuesday at 2 p.m., giving you information on how to become a part of the programs through USDA and Farm Service Agency. We can be reached at 678-779-9468. We can also be found online at newsouthoutreach.com.
Back to the herd is the same. As you know, we're going to jump right back in. I would like for my friend, Miss White, to recap what she do.
I can do that. My name again is Wendy Wilson White. I am still a candidate for Hinds County Circuit Court Judge Subdistrict 2, and I am because we are slated for a runoff on Tuesday, November 29th. What that means is you have another opportunity to vote for me, and I am asking you to please do so. The Tuesday after Thanksgiving, the polls will be open, and I ask you to do whatever you have to do in order to make it there and make your voice heard by way of a vote. I'm originally from Jackson. This is where I was born and raised. Grew up in my early years right around the corner from Jim Hill High School. I'm a product of the Jackson Public School District. Graduated from Provine High School. I then graduated from Tougaloo College.
Right.
Clark Atlanta University with my MBA, and I came out of law school at Mississippi College in 2001. I have been practicing law here in Jackson and Hinds County now for 21 years. I initially started out with a mid-sized insurance defense firm, and what I did there was defend large insurance companies and corporations, primarily Allstate at that time, against medical malpractice, wrongful death, personal injury claims in large part. And then when I left there, I went to a plaintiff's firm, whereby I filed lawsuits, Social Security, disability, workers' compensation, personal injury, wrongful death, wrongful termination, you name it. Whatever claims you had, we dealt with them.
Right.
We fought for the people. So did plaintiff's work again, actually circled back to do some more insurance defense work. And I think the highlights of my career have been my work with mental illness and criminal prosecution. In 2011, I went to Disability Rights Mississippi. That's the state's only protection and advocacy agency. And what is there for is to make sure that Mississippians who live with mental illness and other disabilities are taken care of, making sure that they're protected, because that's a population that can be vulnerable. And you want to make sure you provide that extra layer of protection for them. So that's what I did for about 3 years. We, toured the state, from facility to facility, just making sure that they were being taken care of and their rights were being protected. In 2014, I joined the city of Jackson as its chief city prosecutor. And I like to tell people when I got there, it was very, very early on that I came to see how the criminal justice system meets with mental illness and how the two interact, so to speak. And I wasn't happy with what I saw, because I knew from my experience walking into that courtroom how important it is that we give mental illness the attention that it deserves. And sometimes that's over our heads, but what we need to do is partner with mental health professionals to make sure we're getting it right.
Right.
We have to make sure we get it right. And so that's part of what I did there. In 2020, I went to the DA's office, and that's where I am now as an assistant district attorney here in Hinds County.
Well, when you say from A to Z, you mean A to Z, baby.
I do mean
and,
A to Z.
I thank you for staying in Mississippi. Thank you for staying in Jackson.
This is home.
Because you could have went anywhere else, but you chose to be here.
This is home.
And that means a lot to us other Jacksonians who's here and don't plan on going nowhere.
And that's what I want people to understand. I'm invested here. This is where I live with my husband and our 2 daughters, and this is where we are, and this is where we plan to be. So I have an invested interest in Jackson and Hinds County being better.
Right. And me too, as they say, and me too. Well, I most definitely want to thank you for coming on tonight. If there's anything else you want to say, I got a few questions to ask you as a citizen.
Okay.
What do you think about, and this is off the table of your job, this is just as a mother and a wife.
Okay.
What do you see that need changing?
As it relates to the system?
all across the board, because we can't pick out no one problem. We got too many of them.
From where I stand, I think that we need to move faster. Justice needs to be swift. And I liken it to children. If my daughters do something and I believe it requires discipline, it doesn't benefit me or them for me to have a delay in that. Consequences need to be swift. And I think that speaks directly to what we can sometimes expect from people. If you don't see consequences, then what discourages you from repeating those same behaviors?
And that exactly what's all of our problems.
Justice needs to come a little bit faster.
And I told you hear that, people? It need to come fast.
Because it's not just that it serves as a lesson and, a consequence, accountability for the offender, but I always want to give full consideration to the victims. What does it do to a victim to be left broken by crime and you not see justice?
Who you tell?
So you have to question where broken people go. I mean, how do they function from there? How do you process that?
I know I'm living it. Lord knows I'm living it, and that's what I stand on, accountability. And you got to be held accountable.
You do.
It is like with these homicides. It's bodies in the ground. Mm-hmm. Somebody put them there.
And people are left mourning and grieving behind that. People just don't walk away from their cemetery and put the pieces back together and life returns to normal for them. It doesn't.
I tell people all the time, a mother have to relearn herself the second after she get that phone call. The sisters and the brothers and the immediate family, grandmothers and grandfathers, auntie, that whole family relearn themselves after a senseless death. Mm-hmm. And in Jackson, our criminals think our court systems are sweet. They think our court systems only going to lock you up for drugs. That's the mentality they have on the streets. But when you take a life in Jackson and in Hinds County, it has been known that the judges let you off easy. Versus if you take that same crime to another county,
expectations are different.
The expectations are totally different, and they know they're gonna be different.
And that's not what you want.
And
comparatively speaking, that's not what you want.
And that's not what we want. So we want to be able to do just like they do, send a message that if you commit a crime in Hinds County, you will be held accountable
in a timely manner.
In a timely manner. Because the timely manner part is the part that they know that's going to happen in the surrounding areas. Mm-hmm. You ain't going to be out 2-3 years waiting to go to court. And your bail bombing then disappeared out of business and all that. Now you ain't got nothing to worry about. He didn't send his cases to nobody. So now you scot free.
Something else that I see in the system that I have to come in on is, a lot of times, unfortunately, when we have some of these cases, we don't get the support and participation that we need from the community.
Oh, yeah, I know. And that's the main problem, It's known as snitching and all this other stuff.
What is that about?
And they don't even know the definition of snitching or where it came from or where it originated from. They don't know nothing. They just take it and twist however they want to do it. And excuse my language, with that nigga shit. Because I told you 1,000 times, there's a difference between a Negro and a nigga. It's different. And African American, however you want to put it. But you got to want what's best for your families. You got to want what's best. And I tell people all the time, a girl say, well, Chantel, why we still fighting in our grandparents' fault and they grandparents' fault? I said, well, that is a $1 million question. The thing is, you always going to have to fight.
For something.
You always going to have to fight for something. It's like you got to pick your battle. So if you don't like the way things are going on now, change it.
You do, and you have an opportunity to do
You
that.
have an opportunity to do it. And everybody that you know, if you go to pulling everybody that you know, and everybody that you talk to, and you persuade them to get on board, and y'all go vote like y'all go out and then talk about how it's going to better for your children, your grandchildren, that will become trending too.
It will.
See, the positive stuff will become trending just like the negative.
And we control that narrative.
And we control that narrative. And you got to plant the seed of goodness.
Take your friends with you when you vote.
Take everybody with you.
Let your children see you do that, and that
Definitely.
adds value for them, and then they will grow up with that mindset and interest. And when they become young adults and they are able to vote, then we can reasonably expect them to do the same thing. But if they don't see it, then we need to adjust our expectations of them.
And then when they learn about it, let me tell you something, they so intelligent, they'll come ask you.
Mama, why you didn't vote?
Okay? They'll come ask you. And you thinking they not watching what's going on around them, but they picking up on it. And they'll literally come in there and say, why you didn't go vote? Everybody else went and voted, and you looking at this 5 or 6 year old like, what are you talking about?
And a lot of us did not vote on November 8th. The overwhelming majority, I think 20 some odd percent of registered voters went to the polls.
It's like it's dropping each election instead of going up. When the problems are steady going up, I don't get it. And 2 or 3 seconds of standing in the line.
The lines weren't long.
That's what I'm saying, because then nobody turned out.
Right. The lines weren't long. In and out.
In and out. So 7 to 7. And if you in line and the 7 o'clock hit,
you vote.
You vote. Don't let nobody stop you. And if you didn't go out the first time, please go out this time. If your car done broke down in between time, call a ride. You know, they have people that'll pick you up.
They do. They do have services.
They have services that will pick you up safely and return you safely. So we has really got to get involved. You know, y'all shake my nerves so bad to where I wish I can vote multiple times.
Let me have their vote.
I have. Yeah, give me yours. You don't want to use it? I'll take it. You know, but we can't do that.
We can't do that.
But what if we could? I'd be like that bingo. You know how them people be at bingo? I'd be getting y'all, baby, I'd be getting y'all left and right. I'd be doing it for you. But we can't do that.
It is one thing you cannot share is your right to vote.
Yeah, but you know, you can't. It's a beautiful privilege.
It is.
You know, it's a proud privilege. Because you get to pick what you want.
And I'm telling you, when you find yourself in need, were you a day late and $1 short then? Because you should have already known prior to getting to that point who you chose to sit on that circuit court bench.
Because don't you know the one that I feel like that didn't do right? Don't you know I done had the pleasure to stand up and tell them, I shouldn't have voted for you. Those were my powerful words. I mean that from my soul.
I wish I could take my vote back.
I wish I could take my vote back. You know what I'm saying? When I done got tricked. But I can say that.
Exactly.
You know?
Mm-hmm. At least you tried.
At least I did it. But I let you know too. Standing in the position that I have put you in. So, it's a pleasure. Either way it go. If it go good or it go bad. If you didn't put them there, you didn't vote, you can't even stand up and say
anything.
Nothing.
Not a word.
You can. Hey, you think that's how I get my leak back. That's how I get my leak back, so I got to vote. Just in case it go wrong, so I can stand up in there and tell you. So, hey, y'all, look at it like that. If you just can't find no other way, I know you got to find something to get y'all stirred up. You ain't going to do it unless you get stirred up. So look at it like that right there. If you vote them in there and they don't do right, you can go in there and give them a piece of your mind for your little short time that you got to talk.
I say vote as if your life depends on it, because in circuit court, it very well may.
Oh, I know very well it do. Because once you make it there, it ain't no part of that. See,
that's life changing.
That ain't life changing. Circuit is a very, very, very big deal. And then, do you all know how much these lawyers cost? Do you know how much? Let me tell you something. Retainer fee. You used to get walked in there with $3,500, $4,500 for a retainer fee.
That's not working anymore.
That ain't working no more, baby. That's the old way. That's the old way. I'm here to tell y'all. And then, you know, you had to wait on income tax and all that to be able to get that up. So I'm here to tell you now. It done went up from there. I'm talking about the ones fresh out of law school. That's what they want now. And in order to get you a saber-tooth tiger in court, somebody who's gonna be Rambo up in there, you gonna have to come with at least $15,000, and that's for the retainer fee. And you know you got multiple charges.
And that's because it's life-changing.
It's
they know your
life-changing.
life depends on it, so
Exactly.
it puts them in a position to charge accordingly.
Most definitely.
I mean,
But y'all coming there with 4 felonies, 6 misdemeanor, and then go to talking about what your granddad and auntie did and they died on the city of Jackson. I can't beat y'all. Cause you know we still on that paper down there. You know we ain't got on digital yet. They go right there and pull and see half of your family already owe them. See, that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. You got to break them generation curses too. You have to break them. And once you voting, I think is better than driving license.
they're not getting driver's licenses either.
You know, but they're not getting driving license. Oh my!
You would be surprised.
I'm too behind.
I think you would. Now this is the truth. I think you
Oh,
would
I'm
really
too
be
behind.
surprised
How many cases?
at the number of
I
people
know.
driving the streets of Jackson and Hines County who have never had a driver's license.
And you know why is that?
Why?
I'm gonna tell you why.
Why?
Because I was one of those people.
Why?
And I only can speak from my own experience. I didn't get my driving license till I was over 30 something.
Why?
And that was because if you got driving license and you got in trouble and you got a traffic ticket and you got a charge, your driving license got suspended. If you got caught driving on suspended license, you can go to jail. But if you never had driving license, you get somebody to come drive the car who a licensed driver and they give you a ticket, and back then no driving license ticket was $76.85.
So you rather take the ticket?
So you just take the ticket, you get the ticket today, you got 2 days before you pay it. And you pay it, and if you keep getting the ticket, see, the problem is the rest of them don't pay it.
You paid it.
See, I paid mine. I'm talking about if I got it Monday before Wednesday, I pay it. I get another one Friday and pay it again for Monday. And my daddy told me, Chantel, that's the dumbest thing.
I was trying to.
My dad said, but that's from you covering up that lie like you were taking driver's ed in school when you wasn't even in the building. So I can tell you exactly why everybody don't have a license.
Now that's a new one for me.
But it's the truth. I promise you, because I was one of those persons. Until I just buckled down and went and took the test one time and passed. And can drive a car sitting on the passenger side backwards. Anything with wheels I can master. And that's the honest God truth. But that's why they never went and got driving license. It ain't that they can't pass the test. It ain't none of that. It's that they know if they ever get the license and get a traffic ticket and the license gets suspended, then you have to pay for reinstatement and all that. So you're going to drive on a suspended license.
So the solution is just, but if you never get the driver's license, what about the insurance? That's another problem.
Well, back then, we didn't have to be mandatory to have insurance.
Well, what if somebody tore your car up?
Well, you know, back then, before they made Mississippi mandatory to get insurance, in the hood, it was no fault anyway. You fix yours, I fix mine. You know, that's how it was back then. And that was without the government and the state telling us. You know? That's just the way it was.
So everybody just walk away good.
Everybody just walk away good because ain't nobody had no license to begin with.
So no need to dial now.
Nah, we
don't need the police.
We just go on down there on Cynthia Road, down there on 49, go over there to the junkyard, see there wasn't no pull-up parts or nothing back then.
And get the parts you need.
You get the parts you need, or you go over there to Jelly Bowl over there. You know, we had people that can do it. And then it won't cost you $200-$300 at the most. Because you're going to paint it yourself. Somebody in the family had a body shop or somebody in the community had a body shop. So it was community connected on love.
Everybody
helped everybody. You know, it wasn't no kid. You hit my car. You know, it wasn't. We already knew we couldn't call the police. We already know ain't neither one of.
Because ain't neither one of us in any kind of shape that had the police out here.
And then 9 times 10, your daughter bagged up into my husband truck last week anyway. We ain't say nothing about that. So we even. You know, it was that type of stuff going on.
Amazing.
But never no problems. But that is why people not getting them. Now, they just lazy and don't want to go get them.
I can't understand.
But people that's my age, I know why we didn't go get them. That's why we didn't go get them.
And a lot still don't have them.
I know.
They just drive.
I got friends that's 46, 47, 42, 45, even 49. I got friends 53, 54 that ain't never had no
They have
license.
no interest in it.
Yeah, they want them.
No, they do.
They want them, but it's that fear. It's that fear because even if I just get something as a simple speeding ticket, depending on how many miles you go over, that speeding ticket gonna be high.
But you get the ticket regardless, whether you have a driver's license or not.
No, but the thing about it is, the ticket for no driving license is very, very, very cheaper than the ticket for suspended driving license. And then, for suspended driving license, you got to pay to get your stuff reinstated. You got to do a lot of stuff.
I don't remember the costs and fees associated with it. You might be right.
And I'm telling you that. And when they weigh it out,
so you're saying a no driver's license ticket is cheaper than a driving with a suspended driver's license?
most definitely.
And see, when I was prosecuting, I did not have to. I never got into what the fines and the court costs were.
Right.
My sole purpose there was to either find you guilty,
Right.
or you be found not guilty.
Right.
So what happened around the corner as it relates to the fines, fees, costs of court?
And if you were guilty, if you pleaded not guilty, you got you a court date.
Exactly.
Right. So you hear that? That free game, you know? Because I tell people, they think the part of guilty or not guilty is a game. They don't take that part serious. See, half of the ones that's guilty, that's another myth in the hood.
What's that?
Where you don't never say guilty. You never say guilty. Even if you guilty, you say not guilty. But a lot of times, that not guilty gets you in a world of trouble because the majority of it is on camera now. Since
And you know what?
You know everything is being filmed and recorded. You know
When I was prosecuting for the city, and even now, there's a certain level of, and I understand that, you know, we have our burden. We have to prove that you're guilty. I understand that. But if you know you're guilty and you see my witnesses stacked up, you know I'm about to win this. You save us a little time. And you know what I'm saying? Save us some time, energy, and effort, and let's just go straight to a resolution that's going to be good for you and the city too.
they ain't gonna do that.
Sometimes I will find people say, you know what, I'm not gonna waste the court's time. I did it, and we go from there.
How often was that? Very rare.
If I had my witnesses there and I was prepared to go to trial and you knew it, still not that often.
I know, cause they'll live a lie out.
They will.
They will
Because
live.
like at this point, I guess that's the inner conflict I think you have with
Yes.
how do I say now that I did it and I rolled for the last 3 months saying I didn't?
Yeah, but you know what? When people used to call me, you know, everybody know I ain't no lawyer, none of that. But when you say entrepreneur, I'm a jack of all trades when they come up here to thinking. You know, and when people call me, that's the first thing I ask them. You know, what did he or she do? Did they plead guilty or not guilty? Oh, Chantel, you know they plead not guilty, man. Ain't nobody fit to plead guilty. And then, you know, sometimes I say, what did they do it? Girl, you know they did. I be like, what? Wait a minute now. You confusing me. You know, I can't conjure up no lie for you to get you out of lie. You know? Like, no, well, baby, let me tell you something. Until y'all get on the right path of thinking and pick which one you gonna be on each side. So
You can't straddle the fence.
you cannot straddle the fence right there. So once you find out what way you gonna go, call me back. You know, but
They call back?
No. Because they ain't never fit to say guilty.
Make us prove it.
And it sounds like taking the trial and you ain't got no money.
Yeah.
That's another.
Yeah, don't call that bluff.
That's another thing. You finna waste taxpayer dollars and you know you guilty. And then when they get you over there, you just wanna. It don't make a difference. See, that's another thing. It don't make a difference if they win or lose, long as they can be able to come back and appeal it and not take a plea and be stuck.
And sometimes it boils down. Some of it, to some extent, hinges upon character. Taking responsibility. If in certain situations, under certain facts and circumstances, it's about taking responsibility for your actions.
Well, a lot of them didn't have to go pick their own switches.
And that's hard to do because who wants to be punished? No one wants to be punished.
Well, for the ones who used to have to go pick their own switches. See, they ain't had to go pick their own.
I picked my own.
See, they didn't have to go pick their own switches, Miss Wendy.
Those are the swift consequences we were talking about. You didn't act up today and get spanked next week.
No.
You got your spanking today within minutes of that infraction, and everybody loved and went on.
And it was multiples. Because, when they gossip back then, they gossip about what the children did, this and then you done pissed the neighbor off. When you come over there, she done knocked aside the head and you tell me, what I do? What you do early part of the day? Your mama called me and said it's your so-and-so. See, that's when they used to gossip about to the village to help them with the kids. They might have told everybody what you did, but it was a few of them in the village that had heavy hands and wanted to hit you anyway.
Waiting on opportunity.
And you just gave it to them.
You gonna mess up tomorrow.
So it is very, very, very important for you all to get out and vote.
It is.
And start gossiping about vote. I realized one thing about my people. Gossiping is at the top of the line. So if you start gossiping about vote, I tell you what, start gossiping about the candidates. Look them up, do your homework, and see about it what you think.
Try that
you like about them and what you don't like about them, and then call your friend and tell them what you like about them and tell them what you don't like about it. Tell them about the other opponent, then everybody pick which one they want.
And because of who I know I am and my proven track record, I invite you to do that. Put us one against the other and check the boxes.
Yeah, most definitely.
And you make a decision. I tell people, if I walk up to someone and I have reason to believe their decision has been made as to who they're voting for, I'm not stopping.
Right.
Because my mindset is, you can't make an informed decision unless you know me too. So let me tell you about me.
Right.
And if you opt not to give me your consideration, then I don't have any control over that. But in order for you to make an informed decision when you vote, you need to know your choices. Stack us up one against the other, make a decision. And I stand on my resume.
Okay. And like I told y'all last time, you already know anybody I put my stamp behind. If they get up there and don't do right, y'all see them dragging me out there on the news, hollering to my, wait a minute. I hate I voted for, I'm gonna get it in now.
You getting it in.
I'm gonna get it in. And in order for you to have that privilege, you gotta be able to say, I'm not gonna, you didn't turn out the way, I love what you're doing. Either way, you got to be able to vote in order to speak those words. Other than that, you can't get mad, you can't complain, you can't say nothing about nothing. No more than you all that say, oh, they gonna do what they want to do. Guess what? You too. You gonna do what you want to do too. So
it makes two of us.
Yeah, y'all know what I say about my granny about holding that mirror up. See, I hold that mirror up on you in a minute. This what you did? See? So, most definitely, please get out and vote. And if you go to church, if you got them bingo friends, them spade card playing friends. Oh, big shout out to y'all boat friends. You know how y'all do things.
Just
talk about that vote. Talk about that vote when y'all ride. Talk about them candidates. You want to argue about something. You have who you want to vote for. Everybody in the car might be going against one person. Kick it like that and then put the money on the table. Start betting. Because they can't do nothing about each household or whatever place a bet. Just like sports.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes to get you interested.
Mm-hmm. We need you motivated.
You know, and if you can't find nobody to bet you, hell, call me. Cause I'ma stand on my few dollars and who my people I like and who I think gonna get in there and do the job. So I don't mind taking y'all a few dollars if you gonna be the opponent. Nah. So it don't get no better than this. Cause I'ma give you a little reminder. Don't act like you know your children, your uncle, your auntie, and all them wasn't on their reeling back then. Don't act like half of them ain't over there going to Highway 8 over there. Don't act like they ain't going down there to Brentwood now. Don't act like y'all ain't got no mental ill problems in your family now. And then you get up there and they go before these judges and the other judges don't know nothing about mental illness. Don't act like that don't affect you now. Don't act like that now. We gonna keep it real. Y'all already know. So if I gotta take you a trip back down memory lane, when Charter was Brentwood, when they doing the same thing that they were doing back then, all the Jackson Public School, and now y'all done moved the tree out of Jackson Public School, now they in all these other schools, but guess what? Thing that they do got in common. Hands behavior here. Over there on Highway 80.
That's the common thread.
That's the common thread. So if don't nothing else stick out with you, you just know what you know, it affects you. It affects you on that note. If you can't connect with nothing else, you connect with Miss White with her experience in that. Because you already know how serious that right there is.
It's real.
You know, and
all too common.
Yeah, all too common. And it's not. It don't supposed to be.
Treat it. You know, if you see something and you recognize that something is not right or things aren't the way they should be, then address it head on. You know, there's a stigma, unfortunately, associated with mental illness largely in our community, and we're going to have to get past that. And believe me, you don't want it to be when you enter that courtroom, that's the first time you say your child or your loved one, your sibling, your parent has a mental illness or mental health situation that no one has been addressing. Don't wait until then to address it. We need the history. You know, we need evaluations. We need records to look at. You're going to be hard pressed to come in and start wanting an assessment at that point for some behaviors that you've seen for years, and now they've finally exploded into something none of us wanted.
And see, on the other hand, if you do what you're supposed to do, collaborating on what she just said, just like in my situation with Chris. Chris had a 25-year consistent mental ill record.
So now we have a reference.
So, you know, even with the gentlemen that accused of killing him, that's what I'm standing on. You killed a vulnerable adult. You killed someone with an IQ of 58. So that is what I'm standing on right now, because he had a 26-year consistent record across 3 state lines, you know, from Georgia to Tennessee and Mississippi. So someone who had been getting a SSI check for his mental illness from 4 years old all the way up to when he was killed, along with after being evaluated after you 18 to be able to come off of minor benefits to adult benefits, and was ruled 100% mentally disabled. So now that these 4 people took his life, they didn't kill an adult, a 28-year-old. They killed a vulnerable adult, which was a 7-year-old in the mind and 28 years old with a 28-year-old body. And I'm here to tell you, when this case plays out, that's what I'm standing on, because I have those documents.
Exactly.
And I have the first letter from kindergarten where they wrote for Charter to be able to come out to the schools to evaluate him. So I have those records from 94 all the way up to the time that he had passed away.
So you have to put yourself in position to fight a legal fight. You know? But position yourself to where you can use your voice and you have a leg to stand on. Don't wait until the last minute and start scrambling.
And that's what always helped me for as when I went against the criminal justice system, you know, when documentation, you know. I remember one time it was 3 people riding in the car. Chris was the passenger. The driver, the guy on the back seat, and my son who was the passenger in the back seat was convicted felon. The gun was in the trunk. They let the driver go and the guy on the back seat go.
And Chris took the gun.
And put the gun on Chris that was in the trunk. Now, me being me, who know, as my granny say, is 2 things you need to know while you above this earth. That's the Bible and the law. And I know both of them. So when I went to court, you know, they gonna tell me you couldn't say nothing in this here and that. They was getting ready to arraign him. No, it ain't finna be no arraign. I asked the judge to ask the detective where did they get the gun from. That's all I said. I made him tell on himself. With reverse psychology, the same thing he was using on my boy who couldn't pick up on it, who was a child with a child mind. But he looking at his age, and Chris didn't know no better. Chris, you know, I didn't have no gun, mama. I didn't know nothing about no gun. Unless they had it in the trunk, there wasn't no gun in the car with us. Bingo, that's all I need to know. Because the way they put it on paper, a convicted felon with a firearm, like they got it off Chris. Well, I knew that wasn't right. I knew that wasn't true. I knew that, you know, wasn't playing out like that. I knew that. Because I know mine.
And let me say this too. Do you know how many people come through the court system and they don't have that type of support? Right. Everyone doesn't have someone behind them advocating on their behalf, trying to say, listen, you know, what you're seeing now is not who I know. Right. You know, something is going to foul here. Everyone doesn't have that support, and it's sad. You know?
And I thank God that the judge picked up on it. Judge Walker. He looked back at the paper, and he said, the marijuana alone will send this young man back to prison. He holding up for the marijuana. Now, where did you get the gun from? He asked the detective. The detective gave me a look that'll kill right there in front of him. He had to tell the judge out the trunk. He said, well, how do you expect? And then he said, what a driver? And the other one on the back seat. And the judge instantly, while he was looking at Chris, he literally said, this vulnerable adult. And baby, let me tell you something. When he said that out loud in open court, Lord, I said, thank you, Jesus. I just went to praying. I said, Lord, this man, he see right through it. Cause they was finna put everything on the slow boy because the other 2 had already left. If that judge didn't recognize.
And that's why I say it's important for you to have someone on that bench who's seen these kinds of cases before. They've worked through them. They know what, you know, the specifics are. They know the questions that need to be asked and answered. You benefit from that experience. Someone who's actually been at the table.
Most definitely. And that's why I shared that story with you all. It's a must that you know, because I went through it. I have been through it numerous of times. You know, and that's why it's so important that you vote and you get involved. So when stuff like that do happens, you know, you would know how to do it and what to do, because most people don't know how to stop an arraignment.
Learn how to advocate for yourself.
The arraignment is where you're going to be charged or not charged. Right. Once you get charged, it ain't no going back. That means you got to go through the channels of the court. And as we said, if you make it up here, well, Miss Whitehead in Circuit, it's a big deal. And you want someone that's sitting up there that's being able to recognize when you come in there and holler, my baby mentally ill. My baby this, my baby was on meth. Well, he ain't been on meth in 14 years.
Non-compliant.
Non-compliant. Refusing to do anything what you tell him do or anything by them. So now he up here in the courts. And you can get a judge that's familiar with all the bases that you vote in there, that know gonna be punished them fairly. Or you can get one that just look at it like a number. You know?
You know, everybody deserves to be treated fairly. Whatever side of the law you're on, you still deserve fair treatment. Now, you can be held accountable and treated fairly.
Most definitely.
Treated fairly does not mean you walk.
Right.
Treated fairly means you get what justice requires you to deserve.
Like Madison County and them do, in other words. You know, when they get them cases come through there, you can say what you want to say, but they ain't lowballing nothing. They ain't starting at the bottom with nothing with theirs. They starting in the middle, medium, and they go up to high. And you see it. So you know what it make you do? It make you, man, don't you see what they gave them up there? For house burglary? For house burglary. They didn't come out with nothing. They ain't heard nothing, nobody. But you was in there. You planned to go in there. See, they think about what the people do before it hit the fan, as Granny say.
That's why I want our kids to know and understand. You need to know and understand what you will be held accountable for and what that's going to look like, because you won't always be treated like a baby.
Oh no.
I think some of them have the mistaken belief that their age alone is going to afford them a way out. That's not the case.
Well, see, that's another thing in the hood. You know, if the minor do it, they gonna just get them a slap on the wrist, or they'll go to the detention center.
Educate yourself. So when whoever from around the corner tells you that you're gonna take the charge, you need to be in a position to say, no. I can't help you like that.
And I'm going where the big dogs at.
Right.
They don't care nothing about me being 13, 14 years old.
That's not the charge that I'll be in juvenile with. You need to know.
And then you look over American history. Oh, they used to electrocute them young. So, don't you think not a second age means nothing?
Childhood is not going to be your ticket out.
No, it's not. It's going to be you have crossed over. And it's just no different as a young female. You can be 12 years old and have your baby at 13. You will no longer go to the children's side or no hospital. After you bear, you're going to the adult side.
Fast track to adulthood.
Straight to the adult side. I don't care how old you are. You will not be going on the children's side. You won't even ride in the children's ambulance.
No more pediatrics.
No more pediatrics. It just don't work like that. It never have. So you have to educate yourself on these things. So you know exactly what goes on, as they say. But get out and vote.
Please do.
And we're going to go to commercial. All right.
Do you have something to say? Do you want your voice heard? Join the We Believe Global lineup. Be the star of your own show. For more info, call 800-492-5186, option number 1, or visit online at webelieve.global.
Welcome back to The Hurt Is the Same. In the last session, I want to let Miss White say her little closing remark, and I'm going to catch y'all up on a few things dealing with these homicides and send some condolences out to the families.
Again, my name is Wendy Wilson White. I am still a candidate for Hinds County Circuit Court Judge Subdistrict 2. There will be a runoff on November 29th. And what I need you to do is go back out and vote a second time. If you voted on November 8th, I need you again. If you voted for me, vote for me a second time. If you didn't, I still want your vote. If you voted for one of the other candidates, that's okay. November 29th, you'll have an opportunity to vote for me. And as we said earlier, I stand on my resume, I stand on my experience, I stand on my qualifications. I ask you to give me your full consideration, and I hope that you will agree with me that I'm the candidate with the experience you want to see as your next circuit court judge in Subdistrict 2 of Hinds County.
All right. And I want to thank you for coming. As you know, you're welcome back anytime you get ready.
I'm coming
You
back.
know, even as a concerned citizen, if something is bothering you, you can come on here and talk about it.
Okay.
Whether you... Because at the end of the day, you're a mother, you're a
I
wife, you're a citizen, and you're born and raised here, so you done seen it the right way.
I have.
And we're trying to get it back to the old, better way with a new twist. So I really want to thank you for joining me tonight. Hey, y'all, get out and vote. And how you know to remember www.
Exactly.
Now, you know, everybody have a slogan. Now, that's the easy one for you to remember. Very, very easy for you to remember. Very briefly, I want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. I also want to send my deepest condolences out to the families who have lost family members as this homicide rate still goes up. The two people that was over there off of Mill Street, you know, I know the families. You know, when you're born and raised here in Jackson, you just know everybody. Or somebody in your family know them and it's affiliated some kind of way. You know, for the true Jacksonians that live here, I want to encourage the ones who have lost a loved one to get in contact with Miss Felicia Marshall will grant me justice. As you know, you always hear me talk about that. You can look it up, you can Google it, you can look on my Facebook page, and just know we here to love on you and have support. And hey, y'all, I got some news that's bittersweet. When I tell you bittersweet, it's bittersweet. But as you know, my word is my bond. And people say when your word ain't nothing, you ain't nothing, and I really stand on that. And for us, you humans, I would never put lies on my record with y'all for Jesus Christ. So, when I told y'all on the news, when I lost my son, you know, I stood up there and I said some bold words. And everybody thought that they wasn't real. And I told everybody I was going to take this thing spiritual and worldly at the same time. So I'm here to update you all, to let you all know. It was 4 gentlemen that was involved in my son's killing. 1 is in jail. And 1 is on his way. He will be on the news soon. You all will see the update. I have 2 down and 2 more to go. And by God's grace and mercy, every last one of them will be caught because prayer changes things. And I just want to let you all know, for those who think that you can't get worldly justice and this system don't work, you can start with the first step by getting them arrested. And take every other layer 1 step at a time. So, other than me telling y'all 1 down and 3 to go, now it's 2 down
2 to go.
and 2 to go. And to the people that's in Raymond that know the person that locked up for my son, y'all keep y'all cellular phone out his hand, baby. I don't have no problem with nobody else down there with their business, how they do their business. But that gentleman, he would not be on no cellular phone in jail on my son's case. And Christopher LaShawn Lewis Johnson, that's my son. So he did the crime, he gonna do the time. And Raymond and anywhere else before us having the luxury of being online, that's not gonna happen. So as of right now, he has been caught with 3 cellular phones. But you must ask yourself, how is he getting them? How is he getting them? He ain't going outside getting them. So I'm on top of that too. But, you know, people been doing wrong so long to what now, when it's time to do right, everybody think it's wrong. But long as they got a wall phone in there, it can have 99,000 inmates down there. You do what the hell you want to do. But you would not do what you want to do on 109 homicide of 2021. You will be held accountable for every time you go online, you call your auntie, your uncle, your cousin, anybody, anything that you do in that jailhouse that you do not supposed to do. I promise you, you will be held accountable. So tonight I want to leave y'all with this. Fear and faith cannot lie in the same heart. You're going to have to pick a side. Make sure you get out and vote. Make sure you all seek justice for your loved one. If you want to be a guest on the show, give me a call. And as you see, my shirt, say his name. Say his name. So you all have a good night. And as you know, say his name, Christopher.